join us here on the Friday Sports Buzz. John Lewis, along with my radio partner, Handsome Jimmy, in town tonight. And Jimmy, I mean, obvious. There's no more need to hype everything. UK, U of L, in just a matter of about 12 hours or so.
Okay, wait. I mean, like you said, John, 12 hours away. You know, I don't mind a noon tip-off. Let's get it on.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I think it's pretty obvious who you're pulling for. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that Jimmy is pulling for U of L. On the radio show today, predicted a U of L win. The line opened, Jimmy, at 12.5 points, dropped in a couple hours to 3 points. I mean, 10 points. But still, a double-digit favorite. UK, a double-digit favorite over U of L at Rupp Arena tomorrow.
You know, before we come in the studio, me and Dugan was talking out in the lobby there, and somebody thinks Louisville is not a 12-point underdog because it's serious money. You go from 12.5 to 10. Yeah. But I was shocked, John, the 12.5 point. There's no way. You heard what Dan Issel said today on our show.
Right.
He just couldn't believe it, you know. And I can't either. I mean, it's not going to be 12.
Well, we had the Hall of Famer Dan Issel on our radio show this afternoon. He talked about what Rick Pitino does with his team and how anybody who says that he still doesn't have it, they don't know what they're talking about. Because, let's face it, you're seeing the loss to Georgetown here. Nevertheless, that team is a top 4 team right now.
Right.
UK is number 3, the highest combined ranking those two have had, and they're facing each other. But what Rick Pitino has done this year, win or lose, he definitely still has it.
John, did you hear what Dan said, too? He said they are 12-0 before the game and ranked number 4. And it's the game's past him? I don't think so.
No, yeah, obviously. You know, this is another thing we talked about. Is it better for U of L to lose a tough game against Georgetown or for Kentucky to win, to just pretty much blow out Lamar as the tune-up to go into this Saturday game?
You know, I got to tell you something. I think the tough game, what Louisville had, I mean, and I think that's a better game leading up to our game, you know, with them. And, I mean, Kentucky just handled Lamar. And we played Lamar earlier in the year. We beat them, too. But I'm very interested. I know on our radio show today you said what Coach Knight had to say, and what'd you say? He said by 5 positions he thought Kentucky was better.
Right. Pat Knight, who coaches Lamar, he lost to U of L and lost to Kentucky, and he said after watching both teams he felt like position by position,
right,
Kentucky is the more athletic team.
Right.
And I think, would you agree with that?
You know, Forrest athletic. I mean, probably. I really think Peyton's a great athlete, and you know Gorky is too.
I think so.
And you know, John, I think Cal Kirk don't get the athletic credit. He's an athlete.
Agreed.
He is an athlete, no question. But Kentucky probably does, you know.
You think we see Couric and Kid Gilchrist maybe matching up tomorrow?
That's a good possibility, John.
Now, who has more athleticism there?
I think Gilchrist is a little bit longer.
Right.
But I hope we can, you know, I hope Kentucky does play us man-to-man, set some screens, let Cal come up off some screens and maybe hit a few jump shots because he can't put it on the deck and score.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Now, Louisville, even though they lost to Georgetown, proved that they can play with the long and strong teams.
Yes.
And that's what they're going to face again tomorrow. Anthony Davis, one of the longer and stronger players, I think, in college basketball right now.
No question. You know, and John, let me ask you, you had the officials. I was worried about the officials. Mm-hmm. You know, because Louisville plays in the Big East. Is it going to be, you know, if they get away, you know, bumping and push, is it going to be a tight whistle? Or what do you think how the referees might judge the game tomorrow? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. I mean, you have to think that, UK fans may not want to believe it, but you have to, if you know deep in your heart, you get home calls.
Oh, no.
And I think you get them at the Yum Center. Oh. You certainly get them at Rupp Arena.
No question.
But I think the officials are going to know the reputation of how the animosity between these two teams, even though both teams will say that they're not really, you know, they don't really hate each other, but they get out there, they feed off that crowd. I think we might see a tighter whistle just because of what we've seen in the past and the reputation of how this can get out of hand pretty quickly. And especially now, after Cincinnati and Xavier got into that ugly brawl, I think that it's probably going to be a little tighter whistle than what we've even seen in the past.
John, does that hurt Louisville?
I think it hurts Louisville because, not to say Kentucky's not athletic, I think Louisville is very physical, very athletic. I think that probably would hurt U of L more than it hurts Kentucky.
But the bench could come into play then.
Very much so. You get those guys in foul trouble, Jimmy, like you're alluding to. You get them in foul trouble, you've got to bring guys off the bench, and I think that if you look at it, U of L certainly has the advantage in bench play.
No question. No question, John. I agree with that 100%.
We'll see if our viewers out there agree as they can call our Goomer & Company buzz line here, 964-2121. You're watching the Friday Sports Buzz here from our iTech studios. John Lewis along with Handsome Jimmy, and you can hear us every Friday on 1450. We had a great extra overtime show today. We went 2 hours because we had so much to talk about, so many guests and so many callers because of this huge game coming up tomorrow.
You know, and I got to tell you something. I love the XR, and our boss is very close by. I would love to do that pretty regular.
We like that extra hour. We had a good time. He's over there just shaking his head. But no, we had a good time, and we meant, and it was interesting again, and we hope that you're out there listening because today at 5, because Dan Issel brought so much insight for a guy who never really played Louisville, but certainly knew and continues to follow college basketball.
Yes.
He really just understood what it was all about, and we talked about the fundamentals and the one and dones and what he thinks that Kentucky can do against Louisville. And as you mentioned, he thought 12.5 or even 10 was just way too much.
He just couldn't believe it. And John, what was the statement that he made to us? No matter if UK it went up to par and U of L had 5 CBA, they would still get 20,000.
Yeah.
Name another schools can do that.
Absolutely. And it's certainly not going to be a 10-point or a 12-point win, as he said, because Kentucky can go in there and have what he said 5 future Hall of Famers.
Right.
Pitino can go in there with 5 guys who couldn't play in the CBA.
Right.
And he said it would still be a close game, and I think that's just what the rivalry is all about.
No question on that, John.
We talked about this too, and I think this has been the talk all week long. Pat Forty has talked a lot about this too, about is this the best rivalry in the nation?
No question.
I agree, because I felt like, sometimes we're so close to it. We think it's the big rivalry. We think it's better than any other. But I think nationwide, when you look outside of it, and everybody's going to say, well, I think Duke UNC is up there, and it certainly is. But there's not a more bitter rivalry. Duke and UNC, what you can say what you want, they respect each other.
Yes.
And especially basketball-wise. You think they're big football rivals? No, they don't care about football down there.
No.
But here, it doesn't matter what sport it is, football, basketball, whatever. Kentucky and Louisville, they just hate each other.
And John, you talking about Ford's a Louisville guy like I am. I mean, and I know they're the all-time winners program. I don't care. I think our program's better.
Right.
And that's just the way it is. And we go back and forth, and we hate each other. That's just the way it is. And that's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, it's funny, a lot of the Kentucky fans out there, it kind of blew Twitter up because CBS had reported on CBS Sportsline that Rick Pitino had canceled his news conference today.
Now, go ahead.
Well, what happened was he addressed Kentucky after the Georgetown game. Now, Calipari did have a news conference today, but Pitino said he didn't want to turn around and have another news conference when all the media was assembled. And I'm not being an apologist for Rick Pitino,
right.
But that's not the case. He never canceled it because he never called one for today.
Good point. I appreciate you cleared that up.
I thought you would. All right, if you want to get in on tonight's Friday Sports Buzz, call the Goomer Company Buzz line, 964-2121. We'll be right back after this.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Got $5 and change? Then you got to go to CiCi's to enjoy the endless buffet of fresh salads, savory pasta, delicious desserts, and fresh from the oven pizzas. Our dough is made from scratch every day, and our sauce is a blend of vine-ripened tomatoes and spices. Welcome to CiCi's.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
Red, blue, green,
What do you like about the Red and Blue Review?
I like it because we're a split household, and it tells me and my husband both all of the great things about our team.
I'm a real big Kentucky fan, but I like to keep up with Louisville stuff, too.
You get to see the pros and cons. They show the good, they show the bad. They show the U of L, which is the good, and they show the UK, which is the bad. I absolutely love watching the Red and Blue Review.
You're watching the Friday Sports Buzz here from our iTech studios. If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Goomer & Company Buzz line, 964-2121. That's where we're going to head right now. And let's pick up Kent. Kent, you are on the air.
Well, hello, gentlemen. Hey, long-time viewer, first-time caller.
I'm sure you are.
I know, kid. Go, hey, kid, what do you think about the game tomorrow, partner?
I want to know what John Lewis's Kentucky pullover is.
I did once own a Kentucky pullover, and if you go to Louisville.com, you will see why I had that Kentucky pullover and why I wore it on the air back in my WYMT days back in 1998 covering the Final Four.
Right.
So go to Louisville.com, and you'll see it there.
Kendra, tell me about the game tomorrow, buddy. What do you think's going to happen?
Jimmy, I don't think you're going to like what happens.
See it? You my buddy. Go ahead.
I know, but I'm telling you, I think Louisville's been struggling so much the last 2 games. I think it is a good thing. I know you all were talking about it. I think it's a good thing for Louisville fans that they lost the other night because, he's had their attention in practice the last couple of days. They're going to be focused. They've got more to play for in this game, coming into them and having lost the last 2 and all the recruiting battles factored in over the last couple of years. But I just think Kentucky's got too much talent at this point in the season that I don't see Louisville beating them.
Kent, what's the key matchup to you?
Well, obviously, Louisville, they can win the game. They're going to have to hit some threes, and Siva would have to have a dominant type of performance, which is entirely possible. And Gorgui Dieng could get Davis in foul trouble, and once Davis goes out, then he could score pretty easily down there. I don't like Vargas' chances at stopping him. So that could, there are ways they can win the game, but I just don't. Even if they, as much as they've struggled to score in the half court, that's you kind of think that they need to play some zone and make Kentucky slow it down a little bit, but then they would have to be able to execute in the half court better than I think we've seen, so far this season.
Ken, I know, all the Kentucky fans and all the Louisville fans think that this game means everything, and I think it does mean a whole lot because of the whole rivalry and because of where both teams are at this point of the season. But don't you think a win would go a lot further for Louisville than it would for Kentucky tomorrow?
Oh, no question, because Kentucky's already gotten the respect of the nation. I mean, they beat North Carolina, who many people still think is the best team in the country, and they've already done that. They've played a little bit tougher schedule as for the way it worked out, and that Kansas and North Carolina and Indiana, as good as they are, while Louisville's schedule looked good at the beginning of the year, some of the teams haven't turned out to be as good as they looked early in the season. So it would mean a lot more. It would give them some respect nationally. Nationally, people thought this team was 12-0 with smoke and mirrors. And it has been a great coaching job by Rick Pitino, but, with all the injuries and stuff, and they were lucky, so many of the games that they had to come back and win in the last couple of minutes, and that they were lucky to be there, not necessarily the fourth best team in the country, and some people might even think they belong in the top 15 at this point. So they would definitely legitimize themselves with the win in Rupp Arena, where Kentucky's won, what is it now, 42, 43 games in a row, 43 I think right now, right?
Right. All right, Kent is certainly a friend of the show on both radio and television, and you're still a little upset with his prediction?
Well, you can see him on Wave TV3,
That's right.
But, I mean, he knows how I feel because I call him every second during the game.
But, I think he's right, and I think a lot of people thought that Louisville maybe backed up into that 4 spot rather than earned a 4 spot, even though they were 12-0.
But John, they start out preseason, what, 10?
Right.
I mean, if you don't lose, you're going to move up. And, buddy, they can't help it if Vandy went as strong as they were supposed to be, or Memphis. I think Long Beach State is a pretty good basketball team.
And you and I have talked. I think Long Beach State is a team that we're going to be talking about in March, even though you look at their record and you might think, oh, well, they're not that good, and they've come close in some very – if you watch that team, that's a team that is going to make a move. And
you go to Butler and beat Butler, and Butler beat Purdue. I mean, so They didn't back into nothing.
All right, let's go back to the Goomer Company Buzz line. Let's go to Andy. Hey, Andy.
How you doing, John and Jimmy?
All right, Dan. How you doing, buddy?
Jimmy, you got more U of L garb, man. You're looking too sharp on there, babe. Shopping sporting goods.
Thank you,
got
buddy.
it all.
Thank you, buddy.
Hey, you know, I'm really worried about the matchup tomorrow. I mean, their talent level Kentucky's talent level is just superior. I think Louisville's going to come in and play hard. I know Rick wants this game extremely bad. But I remember a quote from Bobby Knight in the NCAA tournament, the last one they won. He said he was worried till he looked down the bench and saw Dale Brown. And as long as Calipari's sitting down there, we got a shot. I mean, he's the only guy I know to blow a 9-point lead in an NCAA game with a minute and a half to go. You know, they can say what they want to. You know, Jack Nicholson said in the movie, they can't handle the truth. The guy has done the least with the most of any guy I've ever seen. 5 draft picks. He's had 14 draft picks in the last 3 years, and they're still looking for that one ring.
And he would never get it, will you, Ann?
He just can't do it. I mean, you know, if you got a 9-point lead, a minute to go in an NCAA final against a Kansas team that was struggling, it just ain't gonna happen, Jimmy. Hey, you know, I found out today. I did a little research. They got 6 players averaging in double figures.
Right.
In the long, illustrious career of UK's program, they've never had 6 guys in double figures before.
Interesting. And the 5 that we have, at least what we think will be the starting lineup tomorrow with Kidd Gilchrist, Davis, Miller, Lamb, and Teague, all right now averaging double figures.
Yeah, I see that.
With Anthony Davis averaging a double-double.
And Jones is probably averaging double figures too.
Right. And if Jones comes off the bench, it may change the complexion of the game a little bit.
Right. You think Cal is sending a message to him? Or
listen, there's a lot of talk about the dislocated finger with Jones.
Right.
But anybody who watched the Indiana game and has watched Jones this year has seen this wasn't the same guy we saw that scored 50-some points in that blue-white scrimmage.
No question.
And I think, you know, maybe there's a chance that Calipari is saying, you know, you're good. He keeps saying that, you know, I'm behind him all the way. I think he's one of the best players in the country. But there you see, when he gets up in uniform tomorrow, I mean, he's had the finger issue and he's been on the bench. So I think he's expecting a lot of Jones.
Right.
And Jones needs to expect a lot of himself.
Right.
So
no question.
We'll see. Let's go to Terry now on the Goomer Company Buzz line. Hey, Terry.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I got to feel this is my brother-in-law, ain't it?
Yeah, this is your brother-in-law.
How you doing, partner?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. I just wanted to know what your pick was for tomorrow's game.
What do you think?
Well, you don't, Terry. You knew me a long time, brother.
Yeah, we know each other a minute. I'm proud to have him for a brother-in-law. I hope everybody knows that.
Terry, I think we win by deuce. I think we win by 2, and we break that winning streak of that home winning streak Calipari's got.
All right,
yeah.
We'll see.
It will sure be something to see. I know I watch every year, and
it's going to. I think it's going to take a huge effort out of U of L. Again, I mean, I don't think they're a 12-point underdog,
right,
or a 10-point underdog as far as that matters. But I just think when you go position by position, UK is more athletic, and they're going to feed off that Rupp Arena crowd.
John, I got to tell you, my brother-in-law was in a serious wreck. Right. He's hurt, got a neck brace on, called the show. He's pepped up for the game. Well, I mean, that's family there, buddy.
Yeah.
That's family.
That is,
thank you, Terry.
That is loyalty. We appreciate it, Terry. Let's go to the mayor now. Hey, Mayor.
Mayor, what's going on, buddy?
Gentlemen, good to see you tonight. I tell you what, I was at the 80 championship game. I was at the 82 Final Four. I've been all over the place, but I never thought I'd see handsome Jimmy in high definition, baby.
Yeah. Hey, Mayor, how you like the outfit, buddy?
Mayor, we still have him on the line here.
It's all good. Hey, what are you thinking tomorrow? You know, the thing about Louisville fans we got to hope for tomorrow is for us to hit a bunch of shots. We haven't done that all year. We didn't do it a whole bunch last year unless Preston Knowles was involved. What are you thinking about the probability of that tomorrow, Jimmy?
You know, Mayor, I really think, you know, let Peyton drive and kick at the Cal or kick at the Russ or Chris, who's ever in the game, you know. And then we got Shane, and I really think we're going to knock down some shots, Mayor, and I think we're going to come out with a W, buddy.
All right, I think it's going to come down to guard play tomorrow, and it's going to be interesting to see how Marcus Teague and Peyton Siva match up.
No question.
All right, we're going to talk a lot more about the game and talk a little high school coming up here on the Friday Sports Buzz.
At Stewart's Pawn Shop, save every day on jewelry, musical instruments, TVs, electronics, and so much more. You'll find lower than wholesale prices on gold chains and rings, and you'll get top dollar when you sell your gold jewelry.
And don't forget, at Stewart's Pawn Shop, we love our customers. Check out these great deals.
U of L and UK t-shirts and hats, $7.99. Tennis bracelets, $199.95. And men's and ladies' 1-carat total weight diamond rings, $499.95. Stewart's has 2 downtown locations to serve you.
Have you been injured in an accident this weekend? Don't wait. Call Kaufman, Stigger & Hughes anytime for a free consultation. Fighting insurance companies can be overwhelming after an accident. Go to GetTheTiger.com and get the Tiger on your side.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
I mean, it was so bad I would wake myself up.
I've tried everything.
Estimates suggest that as many as 73 million people in the U.S. have a snoring problem. What a shame, when the solution is so easy. Pure Sleep. Co-inventor Dr. Douglas Fenton explains how Pure Sleep works.
Snoring occurs when your airway relaxes and the tissue in your throat vibrates. Pure Sleep uses a technique called mandibular repositioning, which holds your jaw forward, gently opening the airway to stop your snoring.
The first night he used Pure Sleep, he stopped snoring. Pure Sleep worked for us the very first night.
Pure Sleep is only 2 payments of $29.95 plus shipping and handling. If you're not satisfied for any reason, return it within 30 days for a full refund, including shipping and handling both ways.
Call 1-800-220-2933. That's 1-800-220-2933. Call now.
Hi, if you missed the show this week, you missed another great one. We had Michael Gaddy on the show from Lloyd's Florist. He has 2 different locations for you to check out. But first, check out our website, shop21live.com. We also had Sharon on the show from the Fishery Station. Now, if you want to try something you've never had, go to the Fishery Station. But first, check out our website, pick up those gift certificates, and don't forget to watch us Saturday mornings at 10.
21 Live, Kentuckiana's live local shopping show.
All right, we're on the Friday Sports Buzz here at the iTech Studios. John Lewis along with Handsome Jimmy, and we always want to hit the high school scene. Friday is a big high school night. A lot of teams that are in these holiday tournaments right now, but the high school scene will really return full swing back to Jefferson County and Southern Indiana here pretty soon. Trinity is actually the #1 team right now. If you go to the USA Today Super 25, these are the boys' state rankings.
Right.
And Trinity got a 58-40 win in that Republic Bank tournament. Moorhead State signee Charles Foster was the MVP of that. Bullitt East is #2 in the state. Ballard is 5. PRP #9. Moore is #10. Then you look down the rest of that top 25. It's J-Town, Manual, Butler, and Central. And it's going to be really interesting to see these teams as we get into the full swing of things here in January. I think we might see a couple coaches and that one from down the road that you like so well coming up here to visit a lot of these guys.
You know, and I got to tell you something. John, I looked at the rankings. Moore, they probably ain't been ranked since we had a player named Manuel Force. I don't know if
sure, yeah.
He might be, he scored over 3,000 points, all-time Jefferson County leading scorer. That's interesting then.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Mustangs back up there and
right.
doing well right now.
Right.
Well, of course, a lot of the talk has been UK, U of L, and rightfully so, as we're less than 12 hours from tip-off. Let's go back to the Goomer Company buzz line. Let's go to Tony now. Tony, you're on.
Tony, what's going on, buddy?
Turn your TV down, Tony.
Let's go to Tony now. Tony, you're on.
Obviously,
hey, Jimmy, how you doing?
All right, Tony, how you doing, buddy?
Tony Wharf.
Hey, T, how you doing,
brother?
brother?
I like that name, Handsome Jimmy.
That's right, buddy. How you been doing, T?
I'm
All right. Now, remember, turn your TV down if you call in here, because there is a little bit of delay, because you never know, one of your fans might call in and say like they love John Calipari or something.
Don't say that. I'm telling you too much.
Goomer Company buzz line is 964-2121. You watch the Friday Sports Buzz from the iTech Studios. You know, we talked a lot about what we expected from tomorrow. And I really think it's going to come down to guard play. And I've said that in all of college basketball, but I think especially tomorrow with Lamb and Teague, and, maybe Miller playing the guard a little bit against Siva and Chris Smith, Russ Smith, whoever Pitino puts in there.
I agree with you on the guard situation. But, John, I've said it, and I know it might probably drive you crazy. I think the Gorky.
You like the big man.
Yes. I mean, we could get Davis on the bench. They got nobody to replace him.
Right.
None. They got. I mean, and that's going to be a plus point. And Gorky's got enough skills to maybe get him in trouble. Everybody he's faced has been long.
That's right.
Has gave Davis a little trouble.
That's true. And Jinx says that he's the fastest guy that he's faster than anybody he's faced so far.
Well,
this is going to change when he faces Davis.
Yeah, you're probably right.
All
you're probably right.
Let's go back to the Goomer Company buzz line. Let's go to Jason. Hey, Jason.
Hey guys, big fans. 2 questions. Wanted to know if you thought if it came down to purely X's and O's, who would be the better coach in the clutch situations? And question number 2 is handsome Jimmy wearing a onesie. I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, guys. Love your show.
Never mind. But I will say X's and O wise, I think sometimes Pitino will out-coach himself. You can look at the matchups and what he's going to call, and I think sometimes he's such a good coach he can overthink it and out-coach himself. X's and O's wise, I would probably take Calipari over Pitino.
Oh, when the hands down, Coach P is going to be around, and I really believe he's still to me the best coach in the country, and I really believe when it comes down to X's and O's, Coach has got it. Coach P's got it.
All right. I mean, I think he's a Hall of Famer. Don't get me wrong, and I've said it before. I think he's one of the top 5 best coaches ever.
Now, for his recruiting, a little bit different ball game.
Right.
I mean, Cal's the best right now, no question.
All right. Let's go to Lamar and get his take. Hey, Lamar.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Good.
All right, Lamar, what's up?
Hey, nothing much. Of course, I got Louisville for tomorrow.
No question. I agree with you 100%.
I do think I like our matchup tomorrow. I don't think that we're overmatched. I do think that the key to us to winning the game is to throw Kentucky off with our defense, because they've shown early in the season that they're not great at recognizing defenses, going from a matchup, man-to-man, whether you're playing a zone. It throws them off. And then I would love to see us to get the guards in foul trouble so that we can press them, because they're light in the guard position. I think we're better than them at the guard position, but they do kind of overpower us a little bit down low.
I agree with Lamar, and this is what we talked about. I think Louisville has to do a lot to contain Kentucky.
Good point. And I got to tell you something. Tig is a turnover pro. I mean, he's going to turn that ball over.
Right.
And I really think Coach is going to pressure him. And he's going to turn it over.
Now, Siva's had his problems, too.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Sure has. But I think Pig can handle the ball a little bit better than Tig.
Yeah, I think this could be a game. Not only will it be a springboard for Louisville if they go in there, play well, maybe even win as they go into the Big East, but I think it could be a big game for Siva to improve and get better.
Right.
All right. Handsome Jimmy, appreciate you joining us here on the Friday Sports Buzz.
Go Cards.
That's right. We thank you for joining us. Have a great night, everybody.